Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the Beyond Vaudeville program. I'm Frank Hope, and this is my co-host David Green. And David, how you doing? How you been? It's been a little while since we did a show, right? Like 20 years, something like that. What have you been up to, David? You want to talk about what you've been doing these last 20 years? Okay. All right. Well, maybe a little later we'll find out what David's been up to. And I just want to show we actually have this is the Dukes of Hazzard LP that is it's no longer available, but it's very good. I recommend it if you can find it. And this is the Morton Downey Jr. Loudmouth game, and it's sealed, and I'm actually going to give this away tonight, and so there's so you have to answer a trivia question, and the first person to get it right wins this game. So Morton Downey Jr. of course had his program on WOR, and right, it was it was called the Morton Downey Jr. Show. But his dad was a very famous singer. And does anyone know what his dad's name was? Anybody? Yeah?
Morton Downey.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. You win the prize. So here you go. It's yours, Mr. Phil DeJean. Congratulations. I thought before we get we have lots of great guests tonight, and we can't wait to get to everybody. But I wanted to just open the show with the great Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia in New York used to read comics on the comics from the newspaper on the radio, and I just thought I'd read one. Because I think it was a newspaper strike, and he was reading the comics. So I'm going to read today's Garfield, and so Garfield is he's holding a whistle, and he says, "Hee hee, I'm going to use a dog whistle to call a bunch of mutts to pester John," and John's his friend, and he's sitting there gardening. And then in the second frame, Garfield is blowing the whistle, and it says S S S S S S S S S S S S. That's like the whistle sound. And then, and Garfield is actually, it's a thought balloon, right? It's not like he doesn't speak. So I made that mistake. He was a thought balloon in the first one. Then in the third one, he has another thought balloon, and he says, "Oops, this must be my snake whistle." And his friend John is surrounded by snakes, and he's going, "Ah." And so that's a good one. That's today's Garfield. Did you read that one yet, David, today? You didn't have to now, because I shared it with you, right? So, okay. All right. So I did mention that we have lots of great guests today, so I want to bring out our first guest, who really was one of the, she was on our very first episode of Beyond Vaudeville 30 years ago, and I met her at the Creation science fiction conventions, where she would appear in the costume shows. And she has many talents, and we're gonna discuss them with her. So please, let's welcome the great, one of our all-time favorites, Ms. Suzanne Muldowney from Delran, New Jersey. Hi, Suzanne, here she is. Okay, you all good over there? All right. Okay, Suzanne, you remember David? Oh, actually, David, why don't you move down? Be a gentleman there. Oh, well, Suzanne, he's moving down, so you can come over here. Right, so, yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay. And Suzanne, here's a microphone. I don't have one of those clip-on ones. You have to hold that, okay? That okay? Yeah, holding it like that?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, so that all worked out then, that we didn't have the clip-on mics. You don't mind this stick, mic?
No.
Good. Okay. All right. So now, one of the things I have to address with you, because I haven't seen you in a while, but Mr. Joe Harris passed away, right? One of the Underdog creators.
There was one time I actually thought I was going to meet him and talk to him about how Underdog had been presented in such an undignified manner, but the one time that I thought I was going to meet him, he chickened out at the last minute.
Oh, wow. So you weren't that upset about his passing then, I guess. Well, maybe you were. I don't know. Okay. All right. So now I should explain for anyone that doesn't know, although I'm sure most people do, that Ms. Muldowney has been working all these years that I've known you to correct the image of Underdog, because Underdog, the cartoon, he wasn't presented as a meritorious character, right? And
That's right.
Could you maybe just explain succinctly, Suzanne, what your issue was with that?
If any of you out there remember seeing any of the old Underdog cartoons, you might have been forced by your adult folk to see that he wasn't being presented in a dignified manner. He was too easily made a fool of, and I hated that, because I wanted Underdog to be a worthwhile hero, which is why I've always done it in a dignified manner every time I've put on an Underdog performance.
Right. Okay. And so, but now you're making some progress on it, right? People are starting to understand that Underdog was misrepresented.
I have seen no evidence that Underdog is becoming a fad figure again. 3 years ago, it was his 50th or golden anniversary, and I went all out for him, appearing 22 times that year. But there were no follow-ups of more performances, more appearances, or requests that I make more appearances. I wasn't asked to endorse any products the way some celebrities do. It seemed as though it was as though everybody had forgotten about Underdog.
Well, what do you think would be a good product for you to endorse if you had that opportunity? Like, I don't know, corn niblets, or
No, I can't think of any right offhand.
Okay, but you're open to suggestions. Tires, maybe?
What?
Like tires, like a car? Tires?
No.
No. So some things would be off limits. Tires, no way. Right?
That's right.
Okay. Okay. Well, maybe like now there's a lot of drug advertising, right? Like, and he had the ring with the pill. Maybe it could be like Viagra or something like that, like, or Cialis.
No.
No. Okay. So no medications and no tires. All right. Well, we'll think about some other. Maybe the audience could later think of some suggestions on things that would work. Maybe.
I don't know whether it would do Underdog any good. I doubt that he would be revived. He was made the subject of a live action movie 10 years ago, and it was very poorly done.
Oh, right. You didn't care for it.
No.
Okay.
And I'm afraid that the more time goes by, the more people will forget about Underdog, and that they wouldn't recognize me in my costume. I don't see myself doing a 55th anniversary tribute, but I hope I can do one for the 60th, which is in 2024.
Okay. Well, maybe Mr. Bresler will let us do that right here. Okay. We'll all get back together, and by then, right? Okay. We'll come back and. Okay. All right. Well, now, Suzanne, if you can just stay with us, we're going to have you do a performance, but we just wanted to bring another guest out so we can all kind of be together.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, David, let's be nice for our next guest. We want to bring a gentleman out who he is a singer-songwriter, and he's from Somers Point, New Jersey, which is that near you, Suzanne?
No, it's not. It's not near my hometown, but it's just across the bay from Ocean City, New Jersey, where I make more appearances than any place else.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So we're learning a little bit about New Jersey geography today, and okay. So please welcome Mr. Milo Turk. Okay, and maybe.
Maybe we should switch around.
Yeah, David, maybe you can move down a little bit. Okay, that's all working out. And then Suzanne, if you could just move down a little bit. Welcome, Mr. Turk.
You need help, Suzanne?
Okay. Oh. All right. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right. So, Mr. Turk, you everything okay there? We're all set.
Almost.
Okay.
I think you have to squeeze a little bit more toward him, Suzanne.
Okay. Boy, that. Thank you for helping with that, Mr. Turk.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Frank.
Now you've been writing songs how long, Mr. Turk?
I've been writing songs ever since around 1991 or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I know you've written a lot of different songs, but there's a song you did, "Lord in Your Heart," that's about Grease, the play.
Yeah,
right?
it's actually based on the plot of the movie musical Grease, and I was always kind of bothered about the fact that you have a high school where you have people who they always turn bad.
Right.
Because in the beginning, Sandy is a good girl and she turns into a bad girl. And Danny Zuko is a good guy and he turns into a bad guy. And I felt that that's the wrong kind of message to give to the young people. Right. So what I did with this song, Lord in Your Heart, is that I had Eugene, who in the original movie musical is a nerd. I have him become more like a preacher, somebody who reads the Word of God and then, basically spreads the Word of God, to all of the people in the high school, and they become righteous.
Oh, okay. Do they still get to sing "Grease Lightning" in that one?
No Grease Lightning in that one.
Oh, okay.
No car with Grease Lightning, nothing like that.
Okay. And now, Suzanne, that's an interesting idea, right? What did you think of Grease? The play or the movie? Grease?
What play or movie?
Grease. Did you ever see Grease?
Grease?
Grease with John Travolta and
No.
Okay.
Or Barry Bostwick and Carol Demas in the original musical from 1972.
Oh, wow. So you're quite a Grease aficionado.
In fact, I was actually in the play Grease in high school. I played one of the Burger Palace boys, a.k.a. the boys' chorus.
Oh, wow. That would have been an interesting thing to see. Now, we're going to have all of you perform, but we just want to make sure we get everyone out here. And we do have one more guest we want to bring out. And he actually was with us with the Oddville program a number of times. He is one of the world's best strongmen, and he's from South Brunswick, New Jersey. This guy has held back airplanes and had trucks drive on him and bend quarters with his bare hands. Please welcome the amazing Mr. Stanless Steel. Welcome to the program. Wherever you can.
More.
Do you-
I'll move over here, and then he can sit over here.
Oh, okay. You want to come join us over here, Mr.
Yeah.
Steele? Maybe this
Oh, no,
pillow
sit
comes
over
out.
Here. You need the microphone.
Okay. There we go. Oh, okay. So, Mr. Steele, now I mentioned you're a strong man, but you actually have, since we last met, you now have a singing career going on, right?
Well, this has been going on for like a long time.
Yeah.
Before that.
So you've had this talent for a long time. I just didn't know. I didn't realize that you had a band now. And so tell us about what's your band called?
The name of the band is called Ajamination.
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 Okay.
It's like a miracle. See, I got my favorite guys to play with ever. King Joe Navolo, the Volcano.
Oh, okay.
And I got Lenny Miles an hour on a guitar. And we have, very good bottom on it also.
And-
J-Rock and Vinny.
Now, why do they call the one gentleman the Volcano?
Because when Joe first come down to play with me and Lenny, I says, Lenny, you think you can handle him? I says, I don't know, this guy's like a volcano. And then and then Lenny says, he goes, yeah, we can handle him. Joe Navolo is my all-time favorite drummer in the whole world.
And so now I know you brought along some of the music, and maybe we'll start with some of that, and we're going to get to everybody. But could we play one of which song are we going to be hearing?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, you'll know once you hear it, I hope.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rock Bamboo.
Rock Bam Boom.
Yeah, Rock Bamboo.
Okay.
She was 100-pound hooligan with a few inches more. She came and walked and taught me like no ever before. I said, oh, hey, sugar, let's go for a ride. A rock me a honey like you're deep inside. Rock bamboo, empty hole. A rock bamboo, take a look at you. A rock on your mama, a rock on your old
Rock Bam Boom. Wow, that's something. Now, so Milo, you're a songwriter. How does that sound to you? That sounds pretty.
That sounds like a pretty good beat to me.
Yeah.
And as far as, the message, well, maybe it could be a little bit more enriched, you might say, as far as the message.
Oh.
Because I always like a song that's got a positive message.
Right.
Something like, for example, Howard Jones, he always had a positive messages in his songs.
Right.
Back in the 80s, remember him.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, Billy Joel, he had a lot of positive messages in his songs as well.
Yeah. Well, I think people like a good beat, and it certainly
Yeah, that's
had
true.
a
That's
good
true.
beat. And Suzanne, and now you're not a big rock music person.
There are very few rock numbers that I perform to. The ones that I do use, the instruments used to play the music are more symphonic.
Okay. So, but maybe you'd be open to a collaboration someday with Mr. Steele. you know, he could do one of his songs, and you could, right? Okay. Well, it seems like she's mulling it over, right, Suzanne? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
always respected her. She's a very good singer.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and now, did you train professionally with your singing, Mr. Steele?
The songs, when you get to hear all the songs that we do, I
Right.
think the songs stand up for themselves, and there's, you know, plenty of good, you know, high quality stuff in those.
Right, well, more along the lines of Rock Bam Boom,
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. Okay. Now, Suzanne, I want to. You're going to do a performance for us today where you're doing some. Is it some figure jogging today or?
No, showcase posing.
Oh, I'm sorry. A showcase posing. Okay.
If any of you are familiar with bodybuilders posing to, making accentuated poses to music, that's sort of where showcase posing comes in, except the bodybuilders are very scantily clad. And showcase posing is meant to show one off to best advantage while wearing a costume or some appropriate form of dress.
Okay, so all right. Well, Mr. Steele knows about this, of course, bodybuilding and that kind of thing. All right. Well, Suzanne, if you'd like, we have some music for you, and
Can I lift her up?
oh yes, maybe a little help there. There we go. Okay. Okay. So just you need your music, Suzanne, right? And you'll just do that right there, right?
Does
Okay.
she need the mic?
Just watch that step, Suzanne. There's a little step there, right? Okay. No, she doesn't need the mic, I don't think. Wow. That was really something, Suzanne. And now I know you had mentioned you were going to bring a bag of your hair to give out to people in the audience, but you left that home today, or?
I discussed it with Eric earlier today, and he said we'd be better off without it.
Oh, Okay. Well, you know what? When we come back for that other anniversary, maybe Eric will be okay with us distributing your hair. Maybe. But, okay. All right. So now we still have a performance from Mr. Milo Turk. And Milo, it's so hard to choose which of your songs to do. I know you did your song No Sex Allowed, which is the one most people know you for.
That's right.
And that was because you had a girlfriend. What was the story with that?
Okay, I had a girlfriend back in college. It was my first girlfriend. Her name was Robin. And she was about 25 at the time, and I was like 19, 6 years apart. And she wanted to get intimate early in our relationship. But the problem was that she didn't use birth control, and she wanted kids. But I made sure that I used protection. And basically, I felt very uncomfortable after like the first couple of times, and so I told her, no more sex, girl, because, first of all, I don't want to be a father, and second of all, it just seems to be too risky. But over the years, I've grown older, and I found out that in this society, we have a situation where people think it's all right to just, pull their pants down. And I feel as though, it says in the scriptures, do not commit adultery. And in that context, that means is that sex outside of marriage is forbidden in God's word. And I feel that that's something which, we should follow, because I always felt that the Bible is basically the manual for living.
Okay. All right. So we've learned so far today about New Jersey geography and the Bible. And Suzanne, any more thoughts on what you want to endorse? Have you given any more thought to that, if you had an opportunity?
Well, I do know that I know people laugh at the Bible, but the Bible is true whether it's yesterday, today, or in the future. Nothing ever changes.
Oh, okay.
And, and if you read, especially in the New Testament, you have Ephesians, Galatians, Colossians, all of them tell you that sex outside of marriage is forbidden.
Right. Well, Milo, maybe we should do a different song. That you have another song called. It's about one of your favorite things, and it's Chinese Buffet. Right.
Well, Chinese Buffet. That's kind of like a fun song because it's sort of like like America's pastime for me. Some people's America's pastime is apple pie. Some of it's baseballs. For me, it's Chinese buffets.
Chinese Buffet. All right. So why don't we hear your song? Chinese Buffet. Mm-hmm. Okay, you want to stand up for this one?
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Of course, I'll stand up.
Okay.
And, it's hard to get off this couch here.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and over there's the mic. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give this mic to you.
Great.
Okay.
And so if we can get the music for Chinese Buffet.
Mm-hmm. Testing 1, 2. Okay, ready with the Chinese Buffet? All right. When I'm in Kalamazoo, Toledo, or Chester, I look for the Chinese buffet. I get the best doggone meal ever in the U.S. of A. Chinese buffet, Chinese buffet. I'm gonna put it all away at the Chinese buffet. First I go for the soup, wonton, hot and sour, or egg drop. If I take all of them at once and my stomach's gonna pop, then I go for the sushi, dipped in wasabi, wrapped in seaweed and rice, filled with fish, veg, or egg, put together so nice. Chinese buffet, Chinese buffet. Be sure not to drop your tray at the Chinese buffet. The price is right, lunch or dinner, got a craving in my gut for egg foo young, General Tso, or shrimp with coconut, sesame noodle, fried dumpling, or crab rangoon, pepper steak, tilapia, but my favorite is mayfoon. If you want to satisfy your hunger for AMSG and go to a place where you can stuff yourself for 2 hours or 3, then go to the Chinese buffet. Chinese buffet. You can eat as much as you may at the Chinese buffet. Chinese buffet. Chinese buffet. You can eat as much as you may at the Chinese buffet.
Okay. Very nice. Wow. Okay, Milo Turk. You don't hear a lot of songs with tilapia in it. That's unusual. Yeah.
They have it. They have at the Chinese buffets in gobs.
Yeah, they have pretty much everything there from your song. So we're going to we have to kind of wind down because there's another show coming in tonight. But maybe we can go down the line and just find out what's ahead. Mr. Steel, Stanley Steel, we'll be hearing your band.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got a new song on it. That last song. There's another one I got. It's called "There's a Road Out There."
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe you could play a little bit of that one going down the road.
There's a road out there. I think that's a great idea. What we'll do is we'll just hear what everyone's up to, and then we'll play Mr. Steele's song, "Going Down the Road."
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Milo, we'll see you singing and at the Chinese buffet and
Pops, possibly, yeah.
right.
And I just want to tell you that I'm working on a song which what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get some tracks to this one song, and the song is called "Stop the Passion." And the reason it's called "Stop the Passion" is because it has a lot to do with, once again, lust and lasciviousness and how you can stop it. And the way to stop it is to open up the Bible and read Corinthians 10:13.
Okay. So it seems like there's a theme here.
Yes.
So you write songs all about the Bible, but that one about the Chinese buffet, and then everything else is Bible, kind of. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Now, Ms. Muldowney, we know what you're going to be up to in 5 years, I think we said. We're coming back, right, for the next anniversary? Did I get through the math right on that?
There's no milestone anniversary this year. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh.
Yes. In October, I hope to return to this locale in order to dance Dracula, because this year's the 120th anniversary of the vampire novel.
Oh, okay. And yes, and I should mention, for those that don't know, Suzanne not only performs as Underdog, but also as Vlad the Impaler, or Dracula, Catwoman, Supergirl, Shelley the Mermaid, Irish Cinderella, and Spectra the Ghost King.
Spectrum.
Oh, I'm sorry.
King.
Spectrum the Ghost King.
Yeah, he's strictly Halloweenish.
Oh, so maybe you could be Spectrum the Ghost King instead of Vlad. Like, forget about Vlad, in October. Well, no, you could do Vlad. I think that would be a good one. All right, and David, anything from you? David, you really haven't said a word all night, and maybe it would be nice of you to say something to this nice crowd in Philadelphia, maybe Mr. Bresler, who was nice enough to have us here. I mean, something to just let people know that you're grateful for this opportunity. Oh. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's all we have time for tonight, and I want to thank you all for this very special event. It was a very special time for us to bring back the whole gang, and hopefully we'll do it again soon sometime. So thanks for watching. We'll play Mr. Steele's music as we go out here.
We love you, Frank.
Oh, I love you
Please
too,
show 'em.
Mr. Steele.
And Dave.
And David, yeah.
Yes,
You could probably whoop him, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Going down the road,
This is a more mellow kind of number, right? Yeah.
just riding along. Wherever it goes, we're riding along. Just riding along. Just riding along.